I believe we are live now. Yes, we are. Hello, everybody. Um, this did not work out as well as I thought it would be. And by that I mean the timing of the stream, not the actual stream itself. This is my Halloween costume. In case you guys are wondering what I am, I'm a crazed Habs fan. Uh, yeah. So I thought I'd wear the Habs 100 years. I have some tattoos. They're obviously temporary. Uh, some temporary Habs tattoos, of course, the Habs jersey because they won tonight, and still the Habs shirt that I was wearing from last night because it works well with this. I'm going to watch this because it seems to work well. The Montreal Canadiens went into Las Vegas tonight, and it was wow. There's nothing I could say about this game that I couldn't just describe with wow. Danny Taram, what a win indeed. That was a massive win for the Canadiens. And in case you didn't read the description, I have no words either really, except 4-2. Armia is an absolute stud. The fact we got him in the deal that sent I can't even remember who. It was a massive steal for us, though. Yes, we did. Yes, we got Steve Mason. I think we still have him on the cap for like 1.5 for this year, and then he's out of our roster. The fact we got Armia out of that is a massive win. That was a really big character win for him as well. And I definitely have him in my stats sheet. My stats sheet, excuse me. But 4-2. That's all I could really say about this game. The Montreal Canadiens go into Las Vegas and win 5-4. I'm gonna get through the stats. I'm gonna get through my stats on the board. If you're new to the channel, I go through the stats on my board, and then I go through the actual game summary or the notes that I took. Jonathan Drouin, Brendan Gallagher, and Max Domi are all our top goal scorers, or top point scorers, I should say. Jonathan Drouin and Brendan Gallagher share 7 goals and 5 assists, which is funny because last game they were at 6 goals and 5 assists. So the fact they both scored tonight is pretty funny. Max Domi with 4 goals and 8 assists. Also love to see Drouin playing well. The overtime goal was Pacioretty's fault. It really was. Oh, I actually didn't see it. I don't think I have it in my notes because I was just too stoked that Domi scored that I didn't write it down. But it was really Pacioretty's fault, and it was awesome as a Habs fan. Despite seeing him doing decent in Vegas, it's still great to see Pacioretty is still costing victories to his team after him leaving Vegas. But 4 goals, 8 assists for 12 points for Domi. And speaking of Pacioretty, part of the trade value that we got back out of him, Tomas Tatar, 4 goals, 7 assists with 11 points on the season. Tatar played decent tonight up until the third. During the third, I thought he played quite well. But that first and second, especially with that hooking penalty he took, he wasn't playing great. In the third, everyone stepped out, I think. Which is funny because the third is when we went down 4-2. It was really after the fourth goal that I think the Habs really stepped up, is what I should say. Kincaid was also a beast. Despite allowing those 4 goals, I was shitting on him when he led in those first 2. But after that, Kincaid was a beast. Kincaid was just a freak out there. You think we can finish top 3 in the division? Well, the standings. Oh, Jesus. My marker. No. Well, the standings, I'm not sure if you think this is where I predict the Habs to finish, but I do definitely see them finishing top 3 in the division. It just so happens they also happen to be third right now, and we somehow pushed Toronto out of the playoffs with this victory for at least 2 days until Saturday when the Leafs play next, I believe. But the Canadiens step into that playoff spot. We are in a top 3 spot right now, 8th in the East, I believe, unless that's wrong and we're 7th. But we're top 3 in the division right now. I think that we can definitely, if we keep this pace up, we can absolutely finish top 3 in the division. I would argue top 2 if it weren't for Buffalo. Boston and Buffalo, I think, have those top 2 spots secured. Unless Buffalo has another season like they did last year. They played incredible at the beginning, and then once November hit, they sort of took a nosedive. And by the way, I have to mention if the stream suddenly cuts out, or the VOD, if you're watching it, if it suddenly ends, it's really raining outside here in Montreal, and it's supposed to be 100 kilometers wind, but right now it's not too windy. Hopefully it doesn't pick up. as a Habs fan that moved to Toronto a few years ago, nothing like seeing the Leafs behind Montreal. It's going to be hard to finish past Toronto and Tampa. It really is, especially as Detroit and Ottawa, I believe, are the other teams in our division. It's really good seeing Toronto behind us. Despite being a self-admitted Leafs fan, I don't mind the Leafs. I'm not like super crazy about them. Where are you in Montreal? It's Salaberry Valleyfield is actually where I'm from. I keep moving all over the place, so this is probably going to change not actually next stream, but next season will probably be different than where it is here, unless somehow I move to another house that has beige walls and I'm able to put this up. Then it'll seem like I never moved. But but yeah, it's great seeing Toronto behind Montreal in the standings. I would just love to see someone get out of a playoff spot and get Toronto in there. Because if we somehow get Boston, Montreal in the first round and then Montreal, Toronto in the second, I personally think that would be awesome as long as Toronto gets past Buffalo, which, knowing how Buffalo is, Toronto probably will. I keep checking outside because I keep looking for the wins. Hey, Danny Tamman, thank you for the sub. For some reason, YouTube's only updating me now about new subscribers. So thank you for the sub. Thank you. I appreciate it. If you enjoy Habs content, I will be here live after every game. It varies. Sometimes I'm live after 5 minutes if it's a 1-0 game, for example, and I just have to update one stat. And if I'm up, and if it's every single person that seems to score, but then yeah, it takes me about 20 minutes. I didn't mind Toronto either, but once I moved, I realized how horrible their fans are. It made me hate them. I'm actually kind of different because my best friend is a Leafs fan. And let me tell you, from interacting with Leafs fans, they're not all like the ones you've experienced. I'm sure you know that, but they definitely do have some toxic fans, and the media is just insane in Toronto. It's just it's absolutely horrendous, the media in Toronto, and even in Montreal, but not to the extent of Toronto. They think they're winning the cup after every year they get. Very ignorant. I mean, in a way, every team's like that. Like Detroit was like that probably in the mid to late 2000s when they had their stacked roster. Montreal's like that every year. We're winning the cup. But of course, it's really just wishful thinking. Toronto, it's playoff predictions usually, and yeah, it's usually like that. Oh yeah, by the way, to anyone watching the VOD, this is no longer a Habs review. Well, it is, but it's talking, and if you like chill type streams, then I think you'll like this one. If not, then I might have a timestamp where I start talking about the stats. I don't know. I might start doing that. Not sure. Just my apologies. I'm messaging a person real quick. But real quick, I'll get to the stats and continue. Yoel Armia, 6 goals, 4 assists, 10 points. He's a stud right now. He is an absolute stud with 10 points in 13 games now, I want to say. 9, 13, yeah, 13 games. I really hope I did my math correctly there. But Armia, for 10 points in 13 games, I think this is the year he breaks out. I don't think he gets 80, 90 points like I think Drouin, Gallagher, and Domi, and possibly even Tatar could get. But I think Armia could definitely be a 60, 70 point scorer. Oh, okay, I'm just going to leave my marker down there. Phillip Danault, 5 goals, 4 assists. He scores tonight and gets an assist. He's quite well tonight. Shea Weber up there with 2 goals, 7 assists for 9 points. I'm a little indifferent on Weber, I got to be honest. Recently I've been saying trade Weber or let him go with the expansion draft. But if I'm going to be completely honest, I feel as though that Weber, while he is putting up points, he's technically tied for fourth if you're going by cramming, just like 1, 2, whatever. He's technically tied for fourth in goal scoring for the Habs. But I don't know. Personally, if I'm gonna have to say anything, I think Weber, if he's not fantastic by the end of this year, Oh, and of course, the hockey guy just uploaded his review. Damn it. Shannon stealing my viewers. Who's that in the chat? Gay. Hey, bystander. Thank you very much, Holmes. Thank you very much for tuning in to the stream. My Halloween costume is up and running. But yeah, Weber, if he's not great by the end of the season, I really think we try and trade him to Ottawa for that first overall pick and get Alexi Lafreniere, whether it's San Jose or it's Ottawa's first overall pick. My apologies, everyone. I'm not usually like this during streams. Jeff Petrie, 2 goals, 5 assists for 7 points. He played quite well tonight. He got an assist, I believe, or I think he might have gotten 2. When I get to the game summary, I'll find out 100%. Nate Thompson with 5 assists. In 13 games, Nate Thompson slowed down a little bit, but he's still playing very, very well. I think he could definitely. Nate Thompson, for being 34 years old, he can definitely still play quite well. I find personally. He was, I believe he was on the 4th line. I think Jordan Wheel, who was brought back in today, was playing 3rd line center. I think. Don't quote me exactly on that, but I'm pretty sure he was. Nate Thompson, I think for 34 years old, he can still play. If he does not retire this year, I think the Habs could sign him at a 1-year league minimum deal and get him going. Nick Cousins with 2 goals, 3 assists. Suzuki, 3 goals, 2 assists. Both of them were silent tonight, but not without an effort. I will get to that very, very, very soon. Arturi Lettinen, 1 goal, 3 assists for 4 points. Lekkonen's had a bit of a slow start to the season. For 13 games with only 4 points, that's not really cutting it personally. For a 3rd line winger, he should have, I would think, at least 6 points, personally. Jordan Wheel, 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. And Jesperi Kotkaniemi, Koch still with 2 goals, 1 assist. Koch was literally invisible tonight because Kotkaniemi was scratched. He was scratched. I believe that's why they put Wheel in. And Wheel didn't produce either. I'm starting to wonder, do you perhaps scratch or send Wheel down to the American League, keep scratching Kotkaniemi, and call up Brian Paling to put on that 3rd line for a bit? And then, if you want, scratch, sadly, Nate Thompson, put in Kotkaniemi, see how Paling works on the 3rd line? Personally, I really could see that being the case. Scratching Kotkaniemi and putting Paling in the lineup. Because, of course, you can't bring up Caulfield because he's in college. But Paling, I feel like if you were to bring him up, I feel like now's the time. I feel like now is the time to do so, is to call up Brian Paling. Ben Sherratt and Victor Mete, 1 goal, 2 assists, and Mike Riley with 3 assists. He gets a point tonight. Paul Byron, 2 assists. He's had a slow start to the season, sadly. Not without an effort tonight as well. Christian Foul and Brent Kulak with 1 assist. I believe they were scratched tonight as well. Cale Fleury, I believe he was also scratched tonight, actually. So I think Foley was playing with Riley, I think. Cale Fleury, who I thought played well last night, still the only Montreal Canadian that's played without a point, which very much surprises me. He's played very well recently. I think he started getting into his own despite not having a point. I think Cale Fleury, because it's too late to send him down because he has to play 9 or less games. I hope he gets a point soon. That's really all I can say. I can't criticize him for anything. He's playing well. The only thing I could criticize him for is he doesn't have a point. But that's really not his fault. It's the goaltenders he's playing against that don't not let him, but that he doesn't score against. So our record with this win, we are now 7-4-2 for 16 points on the season. Standings, we're third in the Atlantic, 8th in the East. Last game is this one, Canadiens 5, Vegas 4. If there was enough space, I was going to put OT, but I figured, nah, there's not. Power play is now 10 for 47. I apologize if you can't see that very well. My marker is really running out of ink. So I'm hoping somehow in the next 2 days before the Dallas game, I'm able to get a new marker. Penalty kill is 31 for 44. Goals leader is Brendan Gallagher and Jonathan Drouin with 7. Assist leader is still Max Domi with 8. However, Tomas Tatar and Shea Weber both coming in with 7 assists. And, of course, Drouin, Gallagher, Petrie, and Thompson all with 5 assists. Could very well take that top spot as well. Home record is still 3-3-0. And our next home game is against the Bruins on Tuesday, which I might want to do a live reaction to. I very well might. Our away record is now 4-1-2. We have an excellent away record, the Montreal Canadiens, and it just makes me feel a little bit more confident about going into Dallas on Saturday. Personally, it really does make me feel more confident about heading into Dallas because, especially with them being as I don't want to say bad, I'll say as underachieving as they have been this season. They've just not been good. And Montreal, I think, could easily take advantage of that personally. It just depends really who's in net for the Stars. Of course, Bryce is probably going to be in on Sunday unless they want to give him some more rest and start Kincaid. I'd also be fine with that personally. My apologies. I'm just messaging a friend, and then we'll get right into the game summary. I'll try and get through it as quick as I can because I know there's been a lot of typing, and I apologize for that. I just don't like editing in post and then having to constantly make edits. It probably halts anyone from watching the video while I edit it. All right, so my apologies again for the halting. I'm gonna get right into my notes now. So Kotkaniemi was out of the lineup tonight, as I mentioned, and early in the first, Kincaid comes way out of his net to get the puck. I don't like seeing that. I don't like seeing it with any goaltender because you never know if the puck takes a lucky bounce for the other team or our team even, or my team I should say, because I don't know if anyone watching is a Vegas fan, so I don't want to say our team and confuse you, even though Vegas technically is our team because I also support the Golden Knights, but my team being the Habs, I should say. We saw it with Caden Primo in preseason. His shutout was broken technically due to himself coming out of the net to collect the puck. From what I heard, I still haven't seen that goal actually. Nick Cousins on a great chance. So Nick Cousins in his 7th game tonight tries to collect his 6th point very early on. Not able to do so. It's very much a robbery from Marc-Andre Fleury. I'm just going to point it out. Not only did Keith Kincaid play very well tonight for us. Marc-Andre Fleury played out of his mind, in my opinion. Despite, yes, allowing 5 goals, he made a ton of big saves that, honestly, I feel if it was Malcolm Subban, this game is 10 or 11-4 for Montreal. Montreal dominates this game if Marc-Andre Fleury is not on the net. That's not saying Vegas is bad. That's just me saying Vegas would play well, but Montreal would have dominated the scoreboard if Marc-Andre Fleury was not in the net. Alex Tuch was knocked down by Jordan Wheel into the boards quite hard. I say it should have been a boarding penalty, but right after, Phillip Danault scores on a great pass from Shea Weber and Tomas Tatar, makes it 1-0. Which I thought was a little iffy, considering the Jordan Wheel call probably should have happened. It should have been a boarding, I find. That's 2 straight games where the Habs should have gotten called for boarding, but they didn't. They didn't get called for boarding, and I'm gonna call it the refs. They should call boarding more often whenever it happens. And Habs are playing well after the Danault goal, as well as the Golden Knights, despite not getting too many shots on Kincaid so far, or as well as the Golden Knights, I should say. The Habs are really trying hard with the Byron Suzuki Cousins line to try and get a goal going. They played very well together throughout the night, despite not collecting any points. I'll note this now because I don't think I put it in my notes. Interestingly enough, the commentators, because I was watching I was watching the TSN feed. They're saying, how interesting would it be? Or the only thing left we need now is a Byron goal in overtime, or just give Byron the puck or something like that. Which I found interesting because I guess the last game that went to OT for the Canadiens and Golden Knights, Byron got the OT winner. So that's kind of cool. If that had happened, that would have been really funny. But notice how Byron still has the 0 next to his name for the goals column. There's going to be a lot of yawning, guys. I'm just warning you. Since it's 1:30 and I'm recording this, there's going to be a lot of yawning until I get through with this. So I'm going to try and hurry up with this. Action picked up 10 minutes, around the 10-minute mark. Both teams got shots off. And then William Karlsson scores his 4th of the season, tying the game up. Mete makes a really bad try at the puck. But he was just making the play. He didn't see Karlsson coming. Can't exactly blame him on that first goal. Kincaid probably should have had that one. Though it was a beautiful snipe by William Karlsson. And the Knights are playing better than the Habs from around 10 or so minutes in. Funnily enough, after I said the action started to pick up, the Knights started to pretty much pick up. Yikes, Harry. Yes, Jesse, thank you. Yeah, this is my Halloween costume. I'm a crazy Habs fan, pretty much. So, yeah. And the final minute of the period, the Habs lead 2-1. It's an Alex Tuch goal in his first game of the season for a Golden Knight. After what happened earlier with Jordan Wheel, it's quite interesting. He scores, and I put, where is Mete on that goal? Yes, Tuch just took off, but still, Mete should have been able to see him coming along the boards and cross him off or hit him or just do something to prevent Tuch from scoring. But going into the second, Knights lead 1-0, and the shots are 12-10 for the Golden Knights as well. And early in the second, I found both teams were playing slower than they were during the first. And Drouin hits the post. I put hits the both, but I think I meant hits the post, I'm pretty sure. Drouin hits the post, and Marc-Andre Fleury with a robbery on Yoel Armia. A Yoel Armia robbery for Marc-Andre Fleury. I honestly think Armia could have been up here. Armia easily could have had 2 goals tonight if it were not for Marc-Andre Fleury. The Habs got great chances in front. Marc-Andre Fleury, again, is there to make the big saves that Vegas needs. And Kincaid makes a fantastic save on Jonathan Marchessault, along with Max Domi, making a nice stick lift to stop the complete save. And my apologies once again. My apologies. Vegas going to the box for too many men penalty, and Marchessault is going to serve it. However, Marc-Andre Fleury with a very bad turnover right behind the net gets it right to Jordan Wheel, who easily could have scored and had his third of the season. It's a wide open net. He's not able to capitalize it. And I can put at this point, if Vegas wins the game at this point, it's because of Marc-Andre Fleury. And Gallagher fans on a shot with a wide open net on the power play from Danault. It's a 2-on-1, and it really sucks. But Jonathan Drouin scores his 7th of the season, ties the game up, just barely getting in the net. I believe it went off of a Golden Knight. It's from Mike Riley and Max Domi. And then Keith Kincaid with a big save on Mark Stone. He's playing absolutely phenomenal in the second period, I found. Kincaid made quite a few good saves after that first period, and Vegas really turned it up in the second half of the second period, I found. Montreal seemed to control the early part, and that seemed to be the story of the game. Montreal controls it early, but somewhere around the halfway mark, Vegas just picks up. So it seems like Montreal dominates this half, and then this half is dominated by the Knights. Of course, the scoreboard, thankfully for the Habs, says otherwise. And tripping call to the Knights. Montreal going to the power play again. The Habs allowed three chances on their PK, and one of them being with 0.1 left. I believe it was Marchessault, actually. Our power play is quite awful, I find, especially tonight. 10 for 40, 47. I believe we went 1 for 3, actually, because I believe one goal was considered a power play goal. And penalty kill, we were 31 for 44. I don't believe we allowed a goal tonight on the penalty kill. And going into the second, the shots are 24-20 for the Knights. We're tied at 2. And early in the third, it seems to be a Knights power play, or it seems to be a Knights period with the puck in the Habs zone quite a bit. And Marc-Andre Fleury, like earlier with Kincaid, goes way out of the net to get the puck. It doesn't work out for the Habs. It's shot right across to a Knight, so it's not intercepted, and it's a goal. It's a wide open net. 3-2 lead for the Habs. No. Instead, Kincaid allows an awful third goal, and that just it just squeaks by him on the 5-hole, and I put Habs are absolutely losing this one. And then Tatar goes to the box for a hooking. It's a terrible penalty to take while down by 1, but the Habs are able to kill it off. And then Kincaid goes out, not way out of the net, but he goes out of the net, out of his crease to play the puck, and it really screws over the Habs. It's Pacioretty getting his 500th point. It's a Stastny goal, so he gets an assist, and I believe Mark Stone also got an assist on that. And the Habs are getting outshot badly by the Knights at this point. It was 34-22, just about midway through the third. Holy shit. Wow, yeah, the Knights only got one more shot off on that period. Wow, I just realized that. Montreal going to the power play. They're down by 2. I put, quote, and this is not me making this up. I put, quote, there's no way they come back now. So what happens? Cue the comeback. Habs are playing terribly on the power play. They're shooting wide, missing shots. But with 1 second left on the power play, and it looked like it was full strength, but it was pretty much a power play goal. Tatar scores to get the Habs down by 1 after Armia hits the puck, scoring from nobody as Mark Stone swatted away but got it pretty much right to Tatar. It technically uncredited assists to Domi and Armia for the way they played on that play. If Mark Stone hadn't touched it and had gotten right to Tatar in the back of the net, Domi and Armia are with 2 more points, and Domi would be our leading goal scorer and our leading assist boy with 1 more assist. A great chance for the Canadiens after the goal. Mete almost getting a second of the year. Marc-Andre Fleury with another robbery tonight. Fleury played insanely well tonight, I find. With so many robberies, call the cops. It's a massive robbery tonight in Vegas, which is probably what they have to report every night anyways. My apologies once again. All right. And so with the robbery, cue the second part of the comeback. Cue the second part of the comeback. Brendan Gallagher, my boy, my number 3 favorite current Canadian, probably number 2 because Nate Thompson hasn't been showing up too much. My number 2 favorite Canadian, I'll say right now because Max Domi is my number 1 favorite Canadian right now. Brendan Gallagher scores with 1:58 left in the third. Kincaid is pulled. He scores in his typical classic Brendan Gallagher way. It's assisted from Armia, so technically Armia would have had 11 points with Tatar if the Armia and Domi assist counted earlier, but sadly they didn't, or at least from what I see. Last time I checked, they didn't count. If they do later, I'll actually check that right now as I'm doing this. So I'll read off the rest of my notes, and I'll see if it's counted. If it is, won't edit it now, but I'll say, hey, Domi and Armia do get assists. So Gallagher scores in his classic Galley way from Armia, and at the end of the third, we're all tied at 4. The shots are 35-29 to the Golden Knights. We're going to overtime. Honestly, this was just an insane game, in my opinion. And the Habs dominate overtime. They get the only shot needed. Max Domi, my favorite Montreal Canadian, he ends it in overtime from Jeff Petrie. So Max Domi really okay, so wait, what? Okay, so the Tatar goal is still counted as unassisted, but apparently the Gallagher goal is from Armia. That's apparently only Armia's 3rd assist. Shit, so I think I messed up somewhere there. Okay, so Armia probably only has 9 points. That sucks. Unless he's credited for a goal, but I don't think he is. So, yeah, let's just forget that happened. So Max Domi scores the only goal that's really needed. Lol. Thank you, Jesse. The only goal in overtime. What a comeback! The Habs come back down 4-2. They win 5-4 in overtime. That's fantastic, and that's the Habs game. I gotta get going because I'm probably gonna head to bed in like 10 minutes. And if I miss the giant windstorm, I'll be very, very happy. So yeah, guys, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys for sticking around, even if you saw this crazy curfew. It's not curfew. I just want to get to bed soon. I'm getting tired. Jesse, shut up. Thank you guys for sticking around, even if you saw this crazy costume I had. It was very lazy. I was gonna dress up as Joker, and then I realized I didn't have face paint. I didn't have the hair dye that I needed to do it. I apparently lost it, I guess. So yeah, I figured next best option. I have. There's the wind. It's starting up again. I figured, hey, I have the stickers, or I have the temporary tattoos. I have this hat. I of course have the jersey. Why not be a crazed Habs fan for Halloween this year? So yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. Good one, Harry. Thank you. That's gonna do it, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share everything which includes but is not limited to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and everything else. My name is Harry Rice. Subscribe to my Puff Club. Subscribe to the HD Club. Shout out to my moderator Jesse in the chat for sending me this HD cam that I've been using for past month or so, I want to say. Links in the description include my Twitter and my Twitch. I've been using my Twitter a little more recently. I tweeted out a few days ago, Twitch I'm not using right now, but if I start streaming games, it might be on there if I'm able to figure out OBS and how to get it to stop lagging. Probably is just my internet. My Amazon wish list is also down there if you want to support me. I don't have PayPal because I'm not of age just yet to get that. That's the only way you can support me that way if you want to. It's not obviously recommended. Doesn't stream on Twitch. Jesse, you're gonna say that every stream, I bet, from now on. That's the only way you could do that for me, or you could do that because I don't have PayPal for now. Once I get PayPal, it'll also probably be down there as a donate link, probably. And of course, my letterbox. That's where I'm going to be rating and reviewing movies. The last movie I rated and reviewed was Joker. Before I plan to do a full review on YouTube here. And yeah, I rate movies on there quite a bit. I have 2 movies that I'm going to be rating tomorrow because I'm going to be watching them. So yeah, that's going to do it. My name is Harry Rice. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I am out. Peace.